Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Button Bashers. This is George, doing it solo this time. No Kenny, no nobody. I'm going in all by myself to tackle the world of Aliens, specifically the Aliens arcade game made by Konami back in 1990. A couple of reasons why I'm playing it is it's actually a pretty fun little arcade game. And the new Aliens movie is coming out soon, thus dating this recording. But I kind of have Aliens on the mind now. So, anyways, we are going to play some Aliens. And this is based off James Cameron's Aliens, of course. And let's get into it. So even though this is a two-player game, I'm going to be playing this by myself. Big fan of the Alien series. Another reason why I decided to do this without Kenny is because he doesn't really care much for the Alien series. In fact, I don't know if he's seen any of the movies, which I know is blasphemous. They're some of my favorite movies of all time, specifically the first one. But Aliens is pretty good as well. Can't deny that. All right, let's get into it. So we're playing Ripley here. Right off the bat, this is much more colorful than the film. All the aliens are green and purple, and I think there's even some blue and orange aliens that we're going to encounter. And in the movie, everything's just black or gray. So, this is actually kind of interesting. Konami did a lot of licensed arcade games during this time. They did Ninja Turtles, which you already played on the channel. Get the flamethrower here. Classic Aliens weapon. They did Aliens. They've done The Simpsons. They did X-Men. A bunch of other things as well. I think they maybe did a G.I. Joe game, if I'm not mistaken. And those were mostly beat-em-ups. And this one is actually kind of like a side-scrolling shooter, so this is actually a little unique. But, you know, Konami, responsible for the Contra series, which was heavily influenced by the Alien films. So it's actually kind of no surprise that they would do an Aliens game. Here we go. We're at the first boss. This was not in the movie, although it looks cool. Except that it's all big and pink. I'm not sure why the color change. They kind of make everything a little bit more colorful. I'm not sure if that would to just kind of encourage kids to play the game more. Maybe if the aliens look like how they did in the movie, kids might be scared to play the game. And if you have people too scared to play your arcade game, you're not going to make any money off it. So maybe that was the case. Although I feel like arcades back in the day were kind of more suited towards teenagers back in the late 80s and the 90s, but I could be wrong about that. I went to arcades when I was a kid in the 90s, but that was mostly like Chuck E. Cheese's and stuff like that. Yeah, see, we've got very, very colorful aliens with pink and purple and stuff like that. Blue, red. Every color of the rainbow is represented by aliens. So this was actually kind of in the movie. There was a scene where they were rolling around like in a giant Jeep. Except there was more than just Ripley. There was a whole bunch of Space Marines. And really, I mean, you know, Space Marines in video games now with stuff like Halo and even Gears of War and stuff, that can really all be traced back to the Alien film series. It was kind of really the first instance of like Space Marines and stuff like that. Really, Aliens definitely had a lot of influence, I think, on video games in a way. Even Japanese video games, I've already mentioned Contra, but even Metroid as well from Nintendo, that was a big influence. Taking a lot from the Alien series there. So also another reason why I decided to play this game by myself is that it's one of these kind of button-bashing arcade games, button-mashing games, perfect for the channel, but also allows me to talk without really trying to concentrate and playing well, because you just kind of hammer on the button. And I got a big stack of quarters here I can pop into my legit 1990s Aliens machine. You know, a lot of those old arcade games have been re-released. This one's never been re-released. Maybe with the upcoming Aliens movie, maybe we'll see a re-release of this game. Or maybe even the Alien vs. Predator game by Capcom, which that was a great beat-em-up. Definitely want to play that on the channel. Let's insert some more coins here. The facehuggers would probably be a lot less scary if they were that bright green. Nah, I take it back. I think the facehuggers would still be scary. Just that scary, maybe. Blow up these red barrels. You guys know the rules. If you play video games, red barrels always means explosions. Always have, probably always will. Apologize if you can hear me button mashing here. This is kind of a tough section here. Your sprite is really big, and the elevator shaft is so small that if one of the aliens kind of gets in there, kind of screwed. You're probably going to take a hit. But then again, these games are all about kind of being difficult to get some quarters out of you. Still really fun games. I miss a lot of these old school arcade games. You see a lot of indie developers do like retro NES, and I'm going to die here. I'm going to die. That's okay. I can skip that whole part of the level now. But you see a lot of indie developers do a lot of like retro NES and Super Nintendo type games, but other than beat-em-ups, not a whole lot of arcade type games. And even beat-em-ups are now kind of far and few between. And I understand why some people may not like beat-em-ups. They get very monotonous after a while, especially if the game goes on for a bit too long. I guess in recent memory, here is, I think this is the armored alien, or the armadillo alien is what it's called. Not in the movie, but I think there's a toy of that existed back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Never had any of the aliens figures. Which is, I was never really a fan of this series until a few years ago, and granted, I never really saw it. And if I did see aliens when I was a kid, it probably freaked me out, and I probably would not have a great time with it. But as an adult, I tend to enjoy horror movies more. But mostly like sci-fi horror movies. Like, I love Aliens. The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. But just straight up like regular horror movies or slasher flicks, not the biggest fan of. I'll admit I'm a wussy sometimes when it comes to that stuff. Hey, I like to get a good night's sleep, If I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm not the happiest camper the next day. Yeah, this is some sort of armadillo alien. Once again, not in the movie, but I think there's a toy of this thing. Which is funny, too, because I think Aliens and Terminator and Predator, these were all R-rated movies back in the day, but there was, like, toys that were kind of marketed to kids based off those series. So it's kind of like RoboCop as well. Although I think the later RoboCop movies became like PG-13 and stuff like that. But the first one is definitely a hard R. So I've been dying a lot, so I don't have the best weapons here. I just have the standard gun. All right, we took care of that guy. Oh, that was not... Oh, my God. That was not even a boss. Just a mini boss. I was having trouble on the mini boss, and I'm like, whew, well, at least this level's going to be over soon. But nope, still going through this. That was another thing that wasn't in the movie, is kind of these possessed soldiers here. Alien soldiers. Zombie soldiers. I shouldn't say necessarily possessed, because I guess they're like more zombie-like. That'd be cool if this was in the movie, but that was not the case. That was always such a dark part of the movie, too, when they find the kidnapped soldiers that they presumed were dead, and they're just like attached to that big goop wall, and chest bursters are coming out of them. I always felt so bad for those characters. I hope the new Alien movie is good. Just gonna put a bunch of coins in now, so I don't have to worry about that later. I hope the new Alien movie is good. I know a lot of people were kind of hit or miss with Prometheus. I think Prometheus is okay. It's definitely better than Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. I know some people like Alien 3, but in all honesty, that movie is just way too boring. It's not, like, horrible. Like, Alien Resurrection is just kind of laugh-out-loud bad, which is, you can find some enjoyment in that. And at least it's not a boring movie. But I find Alien 3 just so boring. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got the what is this called even in the movie? Power armor, I think it's referred to as, but that doesn't make sense. It's, this construction robot here Ripley takes charge of in the Aliens, in the climax of the movie. Spoilers. But if you really haven't seen, okay. I was like, am I supposed to destroy that wall, or no? I'm just supposed to survive the wave of aliens so they can come up. This is another alien, too, that I think there's a toy of. But I don't think there's a... Not in the movie at all. Or any of the movies. Which makes me think, are the toys based off this game? Or did the game kind of base some of their alien designs around the toys? Here you have to duck and shoot at the same time. And duck is not just down on the control stick. It's actually a separate button, so I kind of have to do a claw motion with my hands here to kind of get both buttons. You gotta hold it down. Oh, here's that scene in the movie I was talking about where the other soldiers, you got the chest bursters coming out of them. I've talked to a number of people who say that chest bursters are probably the scariest part of the alien, because we've talked about, very nerdy conversation, I know, but we talked about what's the scariest part of the Alien series. Is it the Xenomorph, is it the chest bursters, or is it the facehuggers? I personally believe the facehuggers are the scariest creatures, because they're like these little tiny scorpion things that basically impregnate you, and they attach to your face. They got acid blood. And, their legs are like almost appendages, like fingers, because they got like knuckles on them. It always seemed like the grossest, scariest part of the Alien series to me is the facehuggers. And if you try to cut them off, they just strangle you.